I'm not really feeling amazing today, but I don't have time to slow down because we are moving soon. So I think today I'm going to start packing up our downstairs playroom because that room is really hard for me to keep clean, and I need to make it easy when we have showings to get the house cleaned up quick. So I'm gonna head downstairs, pack up that stuff, and then I also think I'm planning on going through all of my makeup, skincare, and hair stuff to minimize that as much as possible, get rid of some things, and then pack up things that I don't need right now I can live without for the next month. So let's head downstairs and get started packing up the playroom. I just want to say that I'm so glad that I started this whole process early, because now that we're about to enter the month of June as I'm recording these voiceovers, the stress level I'm experiencing going into our move month is so high. And if I had not done all of this work going into this month, I really just do not even know how I would be able to function right now. So I'm so glad that I started early. And if I can give you any tip for moving, it would be that as soon as you start house hunting, start thinking about moving, definitely start minimizing your life and start packing. It truly cannot hurt you. It can only help you. Our new house does have a very large unfinished basement, which I'm really excited about, but we are planning to finish the entire basement, and it's going to be so nice as like a second family room / playroom. But I don't want to bring all of this stuff to the new house because honestly, 90% of it my kids haven't touched in years. You guys have watched me declutter this room so many times over the years. It's honestly amazing that there's still stuff left. Like, that must tell you how bad it was to begin with. And I'm really proud of our progress in here. But just now that we're moving, I'm looking at everything with a whole different set of eyes. And I just don't want to bring anything unnecessary. So I ended up donating so much stuff on this day. We had this room finished about a year after we moved into this house, I think, if I remember correctly. And I often think about what our lives would be like if we did not do this, because this room has been the hub for all of the toys and all of the chaos for years now in our house. And if we did not have this space and all the toys were still upstairs in our main living area, I think I would have completely lost my mind by now. So I'm just really glad that we did this. Even if it was a chaotic mess all the time, at least I could shut the door to this room and kind of forget about it. And it wasn't just like in my face all the time in my living room. But yeah, I'm just really, really glad that we ended up finishing this space because it has been a true game changer for my family. I feel really, really bad about this, but I am going to donate all these big dinosaurs because they were for my oldest son. He doesn't play with them anymore now that he's almost 8, but my youngest is terrified of them, and he is about to be 3.5, and I just feel like he's never gotten into them the way that my oldest has. So it's time to let these go because they are huge. They're just so dang expensive from what I remember. The stars convey the light, so fragile in the night. I'm also going to go through the dinosaur bin because we have so many and they end up just dumped on the floor, and I don't feel like my son plays with them very well that way. So I think I'm going to donate most of these and try to pare down the collection of dinosaurs. So the ones I'm going to keep, I'll put in here. Forever If I'm finding that my kids are just dumping something on the floor all the time, but they're not actually playing with it, that usually indicates to me that we have too much of something and it's just overwhelming for them. And that was definitely the case with these dinosaurs. They were always just being dumped out. Again, my oldest son was really into dinosaurs around my youngest's age, but my youngest is really not showing the same interest. Like, he is a little bit interested in dinosaurs, but my oldest was the kid who knew every single dinosaur's name. He knew fun facts about every single dinosaur. Dinosaurs were like his life. And I'm just not seeing that same interest in my toddler. So I didn't feel too bad about getting rid of a big chunk of dinosaurs, but now we're going through all of our storage system in this room. I think this system sounds good in theory, but honestly it ended up being a catch-all. As you can see here, things just kind of get shoved on top of the different shelves. Everything inside of the bins usually just gets mixed up in each other. The bins end up upstairs, downstairs, all over the place. I can never find half of them. We will for sure move this over to our new house, but I don't know if we'll keep it forever or if I'll end up selling it at some point and trying to come up with a different system for the toys.
I ended up filling up 2 whole bags with things to donate, and then I had 1 box packed. A lot of the things in the closet cannot really be packed easily because they're so large, so most of that stuff will just have to be individually brought over by the movers. But I will definitely be going through everything again just to make sure that there's not anything I'd still like to get rid of.
There is a lot more I'm gonna have to do in here, but I definitely made some progress. Got 2 big trash bags out of here full of toys my kids haven't touched in a very long time. So really good about that, but there's definitely still some things in here that I'll need to pack up and get out of sight for when we have showings in our house. But I'm actually gonna go drop the donations off now because I don't want my kids to see them in the trunk of my car and start questioning things. So I'm gonna go drop those off and then grab my toddler from preschool. Okay, it's been a little bit. I've been getting some things done around the house, but I'm gonna pick back up on my decluttering and packing up the house. But before I do that, I'm gonna order Sutton and I lunch. And you guys are never going to guess who I'm getting to work with for today's video. It is DoorDash. So I don't know if you know this, but I would probably consider myself to be DoorDash's top fan. I have seriously been ordering through DoorDash probably since 2019, if I had to guess. Just to give you an idea of how often I order through DoorDash. When you think of DoorDash, you might automatically think to yourself ordering fast food, but it is so much more than that. You can get anything from fast food to groceries, to convenience store items. You can get alcohol, you can get flowers delivered. Pretty much anything that you need, you can order through DoorDash. And of course, they do have a ton of like national chains available for you to order through their app, but you can also order a ton of local businesses as well, which is awesome. I love being able to try local businesses, and I have had so many times where I have been sick and needed groceries delivered to my house or medicine delivered to my house that I didn't have while I was sick. So I didn't have to leave my house to go get these things and spread germs to other people. Also, let's say you're throwing a party and you run out of ice mid-party. You can place an order through DoorDash, have that delivered to your house. You don't have to leave and worry about running out to go grab it yourself. I am just so glad that I'm living at the same time that DoorDash exists, because it's seriously such a lifesaver as a mom of 2 young kids. This is seriously the best food delivery app. They have so many options. It's so convenient and easy to use, and I'm just a huge DoorDash fan. DoorDash is your door to more. Download the DoorDash app now to get almost anything delivered, and using my code Catherine50 will get you 50% off up to $10 on your first order of $15 or more. This is a limited time offer, so make sure you take advantage, and I just want to say a big thank you to DoorDash for sponsoring today's video.
The next space that I decided to go through was our bathroom, because this is our one and only bathroom in this house. It just feels very small and very cramped and very overstuffed. No matter how minimal I try to keep collections of things. When you're storing 4 people's worth of items, it can definitely be difficult to keep it under control, especially when the space is really small and it lacks like any ventilation. So as with any space that I'm kind of working on right now, I'm of course working on packing whatever we don't need in the moment, but I'm also just trying to make the space easy to clean so that when we do have showings, I can just easily kind of shove things away and wipe things down, and it doesn't take me a very long time. In general, the less stuff you have, the easier it will be to keep a space clean. Our new house does have its own master bathroom with a double vanity, and I am so excited to not have to share my sink and my space with anyone else anymore. That being said, somehow we do still only have 1 linen closet in the new house, despite it being like 2.5 times bigger than our current house. So I'll still have to get creative when it comes to stuff like that. But I think the thing that I'm most excited for is to not have to share my sink with little kids who like to spit their toothpaste all over the place, and have my own kind of clean and sanitary space all the time and not have to wipe it down like 4 times a day. I ended up being able to throw away quite a bit, so that's what I'm doing here. A lot of it was either expired or it was just empty and I had shoved it back into my makeup organizer. But now we're going to go through my medicine cabinet. Now this is something that I will not have in my new house, is a medicine cabinet in the bathroom, and this is something I will desperately miss. And honestly, I'm going to try and figure out if I can have these installed in our new bathroom at some point, because having all my stuff behind the mirror is amazing. Once you have a medicine cabinet, it's like really hard to go back to not having one. So I'm already trying to think of creative ideas for how I'm going to store all of my stuff. And if you hear my toddler in the background talking and coughing, he is here with me. It's amazing. We're almost in June, but we've had such cold and rainy weather. I think that's why we're all kind of sick right now. I have a sore throat. I've got a stuffy nose. My toddler's been coughing like crazy. My oldest has had a runny nose. It's just been crazy in this house because we are almost in the summertime at this point and we just are so over all of the spring colds. Also, every single time we have ever moved, like I'm not even kidding, every single time I've ever moved, I've been sick when we moved. So I'm really hopeful that this time around I'm going to get the sickness out of the way before the move instead of on the day of. Now we're going to go through our vanity, and again, so excited to not have to share a vanity anymore in the new house. But I'm just going to go ahead and try to declutter as much as possible out of here and pack some things up. And of course, I had some help from my toddler. I ended up packing up one small box of things from in the bathroom, and then I had one bag of things to throw away. I would love an explanation as to why it's almost the end of May and I am dressed like it's winter. I feel like it's been raining here in Massachusetts forever. Like honestly, probably the last 2 weeks straight. I'm genuinely wondering if like our seasons are changing, because I feel like every year now it's cold through like June and then we get warm weather through like maybe early November. So I almost feel like our seasons have shifted somewhat in Massachusetts. You guys will have to let me know if you're from this area, if you feel the same way, or wherever you're from, if you also feel like your seasons are changing. I remember as a kid going back to school in September and it being cold enough to wear jeans. But now every year when I send my son back to school, he's wearing shorts for the first like 2 months. But anyway, I figured I'd show you guys an update on where we're at with the packing and all that. And then we're gonna do some more today. I also need to do some cleaning. I have been so focused on the packing that the rest of my house is a mess right now. So anyway, I'll show you guys what we're working with. I want to pack that today, I think, with the toys that are under our fireplace, like the rest of what's in there. And then I moved our chair that we usually keep, a green chair here. That's right here. Because my husband's gonna bring all this to storage, and I vacuumed it because it was covered in cat fur. I wonder who got the kitty fur on it. And now I have my cats laying all over it again. So I'm gonna have to vacuum it again before we put it in storage. Also, look how big she's getting. She's getting so big. But then yesterday I packed these 2 boxes. This is full of like old baby stuff that I'm not sure what to do with. And then this is full of stuff for Sutton's room. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. She's so distracting. Yeah, this is kind of just out in the middle of the room right now. And then my toddler's been playing with all of his sea creatures, so they're all out right now. I think I want to try to again pack up everything that's left inside of there, and then probably everything that's in here and there, so that they're totally empty. It's super yellow in here right now because the rain outside. I have to have lights on, so ignore that. But this is actually for a sponsor, so this is just sitting out in my house right now. We've got other boxes and things to pack over there. This is pretty much emptied out. Our closet over here, where we keep all our coats and shoes, is pretty sparse. We do have a lot of shoes though. The kitchen is a train wreck. In Sutton's room, I went through this yesterday and I packed a ton. Also, I hide fruit roll-ups in here so that my kids don't eat them. They're like my secret snack. I packed up most of what's in here, so this is pretty much empty. In the bathroom, you guys saw this, but I packed up a ton of what was in here. I know this still looks like a lot, but I promise it's better. And then this is pretty empty. We obviously still have quite a bit to do, but it's definitely getting better in here. But let's clean up. Like I was saying when I was filming this video, we have had just so much rain and cold weather. Finally today, at least the last 2 days, we've had some sunshine and that's been really nice. But we are headed back into the cold weather again this coming week and rain. And of course, it's happening when I'm going to go see Post Malone next Saturday at an outdoor venue. So we will see how that goes. Every single time I go to an event at Gillette Stadium in Massachusetts, it pours rain. But I'm so excited to go see him. I've been trying to go see Post Malone for years now, and I haven't been able to get tickets until he finally went on his stadium tour. So really looking forward to that. He's been one of my favorites for a very long time, not just since he turned country. In fact, I prefer non-country Post Malone, but you guys will have to let me know how you feel about Post Malone and his country era right now.
Say you think about me because I'm starting to doubt we will find our way back to each other when you're on the other side of the world. I'm here and I'm waiting, but I know I can't say that we didn't end it for good reason. Still I'm hoping we'll be meeting soon. Everybody needs some time to figure themselves out, but I want you close, and I still have hope. I'm waiting every day for you to come back and tell me we can work it out, forget about the past. Now time moves slow. I'm not high or low, no, I'm somewhere in the middle and a little bit messed up, 'cause without you everything stops. I'm feeling so lonely when you never phone me.
I recently got a new Tinco wet dry vacuum, and it has been such a game changer in this very busy, very rainy season of life that we're in right now. You can see it's pouring outside of our slider as I was filming this clip. So I've had to whip this thing out so many times to clean up our floors after we've come in and out of the house and get everything all muddy and gross.
Figure themselves out, but I want you close, and I still have hope. I'm waiting every day for you to come back and tell me we can work it out, forget about the past. Now time moves slow. I'm not high or low, no, I'm somewhere in the middle and a little bit messed up, 'cause without you everything stops.
I had started packing up what was underneath our fireplace here right before we knew that we were actually moving, or like the date that we were going to move. So I didn't pack up everything because I just wasn't sure, but I wanted to get a head start. And today we're going to finish packing up everything that is in the fireplace.
Close, and I still
My toddler has had a very, very minimal set of toys ever since I started packing, but I feel like he's playing better than ever, and there's definitely something to be said about less is more when you have kids. Both of my kids love to be outside, and so I feel like my toddler has really been enjoying when it's not pouring outside, just being outside and running around and playing in the grass and looking for worms and bugs. You could literally give a kid like a paper cup and a plastic spoon to play with, and they would find something to do with it. So at the end of the day, you really just don't need all of this stuff. You don't need all of the latest and greatest of everything when it comes to toys. Most of our toys are very old at this point, prior to me going through my whole decluttering journey and trying to live more minimally. We collected a lot of things, and I'm still working on going through all of those things, but we really do not add anything new to our toy collection unless it's like a birthday or a holiday. So if I could give any advice to new moms, it would be to not fall for the marketing trap that makes you think that you need all of these things for your kids, because at the end of the day, you just don't. They will find something to entertain themselves, and less really is more. Once we finish up in here, that is going to be it for today's video. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed. In my next video, I will for sure be giving the update on what we are doing, because I haven't given too many details about our move. So I will be answering the question of whether or not we're moving to North Carolina or if we're staying in Massachusetts. So if you want to hear all about that, just stay tuned for my next video. I don't mean to drag it out. I've just needed a little bit of time to process everything before I go ahead and start sharing it all with the world. But that's it for me today, and I hope I'll see you again next week for another video.
The battery is always dead. Every time.